The chlorine temps of my pool still clung to the night air when the sharp knock rattled my door. Under the porch light, a clipboard gleamed like a sword. The HOA letterhead screamed in bold. Pool permit revoked. Immediate closure required. My backyard oasis, the place where my children learned to swim and my neighbors gathered every summer, was suddenly branded illegal. Their smug declaration of rules being rules echoed in my head, dripping with arrogance. They thought they'd decornered me, that they could strip away what I had built with a stroke of a pen. But what they didn't know, what they could never imagine, was that family ties run deeper than their bylaws. Years earlier, I had poured every spare dollar in late night into this house. The foundation was mine, the deck built with my father's hammer, the pool a gift for my children after years of saving. Summer evenings shimmered with laughter, fireflies, and barbecue smoke rising over the water's surface. This wasn't just a pool, it was my family's heartbeat. Losing it felt like losing a piece of our story, but the HOA didn't care. They sent glossy mailers warning of structural non-compliance, fines mounted like storm clouds, and whispers of liens on my property started swirling. The stakes weren't just financial, they were personal. Then came their boldest move yet. A deadline notice taped to my gate. Within days, the harassment became relentless. Anonymous complaints filed daily, warning slips tucked under my windshield, even photographs of my children swimming sent as evidence. The metallic stink of spray paint one morning revealed crude red X's slashed across my fence. At HOA meetings, my name became shorthand for rebellion. Neighbors who once shared burgers at my grill now avoided eye contact, afraid of fines by association. Rumors spread that my pool was a hazard, a breeding ground for disease. Their voices were smug, their letters laced with threats of legal action. I felt my world tightening, my home becoming a cage. Yet even as frustration clawed at me, I smiled quietly. They were fueling a battle they couldn't win. What the HOA failed to realize was that my cousin sat high in the state office that issued building permits. While they crowed about rules, I quietly gathered every scrap of correspondence, every false claim, every photo of their sabotage. At night, my dining table turned into a war room. Folders stacked, dates circled, signatures compared. My cousin assured me the paperwork trail was mine to command, but I wanted more. I wanted justice carved in stone. Soon, whispers spread. A reporter had started sniffing around. Neighbors peeked from behind blinds as unmarked cars rolled into the cul-de-sac. The narrative was shifting, and for the first time, the HOA's smug grins flickered with doubt. The tide was turning. Desperation made them reckless. One done, the rumble of machinery shattered the quiet. The HOA had brought contractors to drain my pool illegally. Water gushed like a wound into the street, soaking lawns and flooding driveways. But as their boots hit my yard, sirens wailed, uniforms poured in, badges gleaming under flashing lights. My cousin's intervention had fast-tracked the case. Injunctions, violations, and charges, waiting like coiled snakes. I watched as their president sputtered, clutching her binder of bylaws that suddenly carried no weight. Neighbors stepped forward, emboldened by the spectacle. The HOA's might had crumbled in the face of real law. For once, the bullies were on the defensive, and their empire of intimidation began to collapse. In the aftermath, the HOA's empire imploded. Court fines bankrupted their treasury, and their president resigned in disgrace. News headlines mocked their arrogance, while families once silenced reclaimed their yards with laughter and grills firing once more. My pool perm wasn't tea, just reinstated. It was sealed with an official stamp so ironclad it could never be challenged again. On the first evening of freedom, I watched the sun sink beyond the rippling water, my children's laughter rising like a victory song. Justice wasn't just mine. It belonged to every neighbor they had tried to control. And now I ask, what would you do if an HOA tried to steal your happiness? Share your story below, and don't forget to subscribe.